Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. A lot of great friends here. Exciting show, I think. First off, just want to say, us pushed out free will. It's going to be a little, I think it's ultimately going to be where y'all want me to get, but some of you are going to get a little ruffled at parts. I don't know. Like Anya's and I did a show on us pushed out, and she's definitely one of the big proponents, and everything is you pushed out. And I love Anya's. And in our show, we actually talked about a lot of my thoughts around it, and she was pretty much in agreement. I mean, there was no place where she really disagreed. So I don't think I'm going to be stepping too outside the reservation, but I think one of the problems that really has existed with this whole us pushed out movement or phenomenon is that it's confusing. I think in some cases it's very true. It's completely accurate. You're like, you nailed it, 100%. And then I think there's times where it's probably just maybe not quite there, but it's not doing any harm. And then I think there's literally times where people are very confused about us pushed out and what that actually means. For example, I don't know, maybe you're a specific person, punches babies, kicks puppies, right? Horrible thing, right? And so they're acting this way, and you're like, what is going on with myself that's causing him to do that? Those cases, no, that's not you pushed out. That's someone that punches babies and kicks puppies. They're just a disturbed individual. Now, we can attract individuals like that, and we'll cover that probably more, I hope. But that's kind of a different thing. Now, us pushed out in that standpoint, not understanding that I've attracted this to me, so even playing on words a little bit, that still kind of works as us pushed out. And Anya's, again, we've talked about these exact same concepts. I know a lot of people, it's funny, is doing a little of the research for this show, just mainly trying to put the thumbnail together, to be honest. I noticed a lot of people out there. Joseph Eli, I think, is one of the really common ones that people talk about frequently. He did a video on this as well. Actually, the Aaron Doty even did a video on this. So it's like, dude, that guy's got like a million subs or something. He's giant. He's like the monster. He's like the monster gorilla in the room that no one wants to talk about, but is doing very well for himself. So good for him, by the way. That's fantabulous. But us pushed out is a very cool concept. But I, to my understanding, I've been doing a lot of meditation on this. I've been messing with this and manifesting specific people into my life. And nothing like I've got a girlfriend. So again, I'm just trying to do it within the confines of what I'm allowed to do, right? But trying to manifest visibility of someone that you never see, or trying to alter a relationship with a friend in a way that's, it's okay still, but nonetheless, it's still a little bit different. It's interesting how these things work out, and I've been playing with this a lot. And so there is the concept of free will. There's been plenty of people that in the past have gotten grumpy with me and like, dude, but if everyone's got free will, then they can choose to say no. And it's like, they can. But I think I finally understand it to a place where it makes more sense, and I think it works for the people that freaks out. Like people out there, there's some out there that are like the idea that someone could actually say no to them. That's like, I don't want to do manifesting if that's the case. I want them to definitely do this. Now, one thing, just right off the bat, anybody out there who's trying to force something, if you're trying to make something happen, if you're trying to cause someone to change, something outside of yourself, if you're trying to alter something outside of yourself using law of attraction, you're going about it incorrectly. It's not how you change things outside of yourself. That's already after the effect. You've already attracted it. What you were doing 5 minutes ago is what created your right now that you're currently trying to change. Now, maybe your right now started a year ago. Well, then what you were doing a year ago is what caused that situation. And so there's a lot of people that try to get into this habit of you attract something into your life. Maybe you've shifted your consciousness. You've altered. Again, Goddard talks about it frequently, how everything is consciousness. I mean, a lot of people say it. Einstein's got a famous quote. Tesla. A whole bunch of people have all these different quotes. We're all energy, blah, 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 right? So we have this certain frequency that we're manifesting at. The way we see things, how we believe things, how we think people are relative to us. Like, do we treat people poorly? Do we treat them good, right? Everyone's in different walks, right? Some people walk into grocery stores and expect people snap, snap, hop, hop, right? And they've got this attitude, and then they wonder why nobody likes them. It's like, well, you're very unlikable. That's why. I mean, you're a beautiful soul, and I see that when I talk to you, but I've watched you behave with other people, and you're mean, right? So that's why you're having the issues. So again, us pushed out, yeah, you're projecting out this kind of nightmarish version of yourself, and so you attract back people that want a nightmarish version of themselves, shown. So I've got a couple examples. One, say you're in a situation where you're into dominating. We're going to use kind of the bad side of this just to make it easy, but you're into dominating. You want to dominate. You want to be in charge. You want to be able to tell someone. You want to be in charge of them. You want ownership. It's kind of a guy thing more, but I think for ladies, right, you've been on the other side of that maybe with a guy that's like just totally empowers, wants to own you, is wondering where you are at all times of the day. What'll happen for that guy in that energy space, one, he's probably going to attract a number of very aggressive, and he's probably constantly playing sports and being challenged like that, having dudes call him names and stuff, right? He's just got that built into his life. But he's also got relationships in his life with ladies that have maybe low self-esteem, maybe have some issues within themselves, and so become very attracted to this man of power. And this man of power is able to control them. And they allow it for a period of time. But at some point, most people that go through that level of abuse or that level of control, at some point reach a place where they go, I don't like this. I am my own being. I'm my own person. I want to change that. So at that point, that individual, that person that's been abused finally says, no, consciousness shift. That's a consciousness shift. That's what they did. It's exactly what they did. They finally said, I love myself enough, and shifted their consciousness and said, dude, we're done. And they go their merry way. And they realize they're worth more than that. They manifest maybe a happier relationship. Now, here's the thing. What if you're that guy and you want to manifest them back? What if that's you? Right? And I'm using the extreme because I'm hoping none of my audience is this bad, right? But here's the extreme, right? So I'm an abusive guy. Bless, release, and erase. I'm an abusive guy, but I can control that, I'm pretty sure. But right, I'm this fictional situation. This abusive guy had a breakup happen. Can't believe that this person has actually defied them. Maybe angry, maybe mad, maybe even threatened, maybe threatened to hurt themselves. Right? Any number of crazy things will play out. We've all been there. I've been with crazy people like this. They're pretty awesome too. There's some great aspects to them, but at the same time, they make up for it in a long-standing kind of way. For the short-term yays that you have, their long-term is not good. So that individual tries to get you back. Should they be able to, if that's you? If you're the one that's changed your consciousness, realized you're better than that? No, they shouldn't. Free will. Now, here's the thing that's cool about all of this. Anyone close, and you maybe have to take my word on this, a lot of you know this already, some of you maybe don't, but we're in a very cool place where we have relationships with our soul family. There's a number of souls. It could be 50, could be 20. It's funny as I've started to realize that I see people that look similar to other people, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the actual same soul as that other person, just a different version of them, right? So I don't know. I'm still tripping on some of that. But that being said, we've got our core soul family, people we've loved, people close to us, people that are family, people we bump into, our best friends, like the people that we have wanted, certainly specific people for sure. People we've wanted are part of our soul group, for sure. You don't just have random relationships with random strangers in the universe. You plan on it. I mean, yeah, you bump into random strangers and you make new friends probably along the way, but very rare to have a deep level because you don't need to or want to. And you've got a rather large soul family. Like, again, it could be 50 people. And so you've got your family, and there's 5 of them. There's 45 other people that want to meet you and you want to meet in your life that will, throughout your lifetime, pop in and out. These people are your friends. These people are your family. If you're vibrating in a crappy way, abusive guy, tow truck driver, as I've joked about, right? If that's you, then they're going to choose not to have you back until you learn. They love you. They love you from a spiritual level. They love you in heaven just as much as you love them. But you're energetically inappropriate right now for where they're at in their lives and where they want to be. And they don't want to digress necessarily to your level, or in some cases would require you to digress to them. And you're not willing to do that. In either case, that's okay. 1, the love still exists always. 2, from a free will standpoint, that individual can alter themselves in their own way. You can't make them, but the fact that you've separated from them and you've changed your consciousness causes them to want to change theirs as well, assuming you've gone up. And if it's the other way around, if you're the abuser and they've gotten their consciousness up and they realize, I don't want to be with you anymore, bye, toodles. From a soul level, I still love you, and we had a great relationship, and yeah, you abused me. It's all right. From a spiritual level, I've known you for a million years. Thank you for you being the one that was actually doing that, right? Like, I wouldn't let anyone else. But from a standpoint of a relationship, it sucks, right? From a here on earth, and you got to learn to love yourself more, to not allow people to treat you poorly, not give you calls, not text you back, not hang out with you, not tell their family about you, whatever, right? Like, they should be able to do that. If they can't, there's something that needs to change. One of you has shifted up and one of you is down. The down person needs to shift up, period. And until they do, the person that's already upper should stay away from them, period. You want to change something, you change your consciousness inside to get to that level. If you've changed your consciousness and caused a shift that's happened in your life, and you've noticed there's someone that doesn't get these things, that isn't doing right, that's okay. And you can keep loving them. And yes, they can change. And yes, they can choose you. But no, you should not change down to them. It's a stair-step process, and we're helping them up. It's kind of like a slinky, except the opposite direction. So one of us manages to climb up the cliff, and then we put our arm down to help our fellow soulmates climb up with us. That's how these relationships work. So do they have free will? Yes. Do they want to be with you too? Yes. Do we need to change? Yes. If we've shifted above, you just kind of need to accept you're one of the leaders, and that's a responsibility thing. Again, I'm trying to do a video for all walks of life, right? So if you are one of the cutting edge people, and I could think of a bunch of you out there right now that definitely fall into that category. I don't want to give names because if I forget anyone, right? How upsetting would that be? There's a bunch of us that are on the cutting edge. If you've stepped up a level, you just need to love so much and keep being the example and be wonderful. And you will find that they will come back. They will circle back around, and just let it happen. Understand it's an energetic thing. They have free will to get there when they want, but the longer you can stay in that place and make it look safe, the quicker they're going to come. And if it's the other way around, the longer that they stay in that place, and we're wallowing over here trying to figure it out. And that's usually how it manifests in our lives. We're like, well, nothing's wrong with me. It's all them. It's like, no, it's you. I've watched you. Like, I love you as a person. You're my best friend. And then I've watched you interact with other people and you treat people poorly. Yeah, but that's so, they did this and they did, no, whoa. It doesn't matter. Everything's a reflection. You're saying I'm doing this because, and that's what justifies your behavior. But the because is because of what you've created. So you can't go around and say, I'm going to be a jerk because everything I've created is jerky, unless you like that. So if there's something different, stop being that thing that you keep doing. It kind of likens to, I think, and this is an example I'm going to give, and hopefully some of you guys have had cats or dogs or both, or at least experienced them. I love animals, love all animals, all animals. Dogs are awesome. And I'm not trying to say they're better than cats. Don't get me wrong. They're very different creatures. That's my point. But a dog is kind of like that relationship early on with us when we attracted them right to us initially, right? One of us, both of us were in the same place, and we were happy to be in the same place, energetically, consciously. It's like a dog. And that dog just loves you no matter what. That dog just wants to hang out with you. The dog just wants to be fed. And God, if you can throw some affection and love on that dog, oh, we are in hog heaven. That dog will follow you wherever you go for all your days. And it's great. But eventually, and oftentimes, we run into a cat. We run into a cat that we love. It's an adorable cat. It's very cute. It's very cute and cuddly, sort of, when it wants. But you walk up to that cat and you go to pet it. And the cat's cool. It's like, does its little back thing, puts its back up, right? And sticks its tail straight in the air, and you just do your little pet thing on it. You do that about 3-4 times. And the second you do the fifth one, they freaking attack you because somehow you've crossed the line. Or somehow they want to play, and their way of causing play is to annihilate skin. I don't know. I don't really understand cats. I don't like the idea of having an animal poo inside, frankly, either. Unless it can use the toilet. Then that's okay. I can flush. I'm fine with that. But use the toilet. I'm cool with it. But otherwise, no. That's disgusting. Do that outside, please. That being said, you don't manifest a different cat. You don't manifest changing the cat. The cat is a cat. That's how cats are. That's what cats are. You get little thingies. You play with them differently than you do dogs. They're just different creatures. They're lovely. They're wonderful. I've definitely experienced a cat that was the most affectionate. It'd like come up and give me those little nose kisses. Like anyone that's had cats is like, oh, right? Like that's the best. You get that nose kiss. It was like, oh my God, this thing freaking loves me. That is so cool. Like they're amazing creatures. But I've also met many of them that I had a challenge with learning how to interact. But I learned. And so it wasn't an issue of changing the cat. It was an issue of me changing my understanding of how to interact with this being. And so your specific person, your boss, your whatever that's standing between you and happiness is the same situation. They've got free will to choose where they're at energetically. That's okay. We're in this life for the long haul, and we definitely love each other. And so long as our energetics are kind of messed up, so long as we keep vibrating inappropriately, so long as we keep pushing out, projecting out crap, that's what we're going to get back until we're ready to change that. The last example I'm going to give. You wake up in the morning, maybe it's one of those days, right? You go to try to put your pants on and you're trying to get that second leg in there and it just doesn't quite work and you fall or you catch yourself or your mom's yelling at you on the way out the door or the dog like pooed on the rug and you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that right now, but definitely that's waiting for me when I get home, right? Like whatever the case is. And you go down to the coffee shop and you've just had a tough day. And maybe the barista, working behind the counter, maybe he's looking at his phone. Maybe he's thinking of something, but whatever. He happens to have a strange look on his face. And you look at him and you go, oh man, you having a tough day? And he's like, no. I was just thinking about something. I was trying to figure out a Sudoku. I was doing a crossword puzzle. A text from a friend. It was something strange. I was trying to figure it out. No, day's going great. How's yours? We saw a bad day on his face. And in fact, he just maybe happened to make a weird smirk the second we walked in the door, not knowing consciously. Higher self's like, smirk time, right? And it just popped up, and that was the point where you happened to get to the part of the text message that was strange. And you're like, like you pushed up your eyebrow or whatever. And you didn't know the dude just walked in. You're not paying attention. You're paying attention to something else. So you did it for them. No one else would know this. No other person in that coffee store notices that your eyebrow just went up. But the dude that just walked in having a tough morning because he fell on his face, missing his pants. He sees a grumpy person. He sees someone that's not okay. It's him pushed out. He's projected out. Doesn't mean his friend's having a bad day, and he is too, and he's created all these people having bad days. No, he's just experiencing what he expects to see. And the same conversely can be true as well. You can be having a wonderful day, but maybe you notice one of your friends is interacting with you in a way that's grumpy. Maybe they're just snapping on people. Maybe you're like, and you're like, whoa, what's up, man? Are you having an okay day? You need to talk? You all right? What's going on? It's not you pushed out. You're not having the bad day. You are actually here to help your soulmate, your friend, your buddy through their bad day, to help give them contrast, to help be a part of their transition, to help be a part of their change, to help pull them up the cliff with you. We're in this together with a bunch of souls that we really, really care about. And these souls are individual souls that we love very dearly as their own individual souls. And I think we probably create our fair share of literal projections, probably in weird ways, but I'm sure there's some out there. I mean, I've been really spending time with this. It's a fun topic. But ultimately, the ones we care about, that specific person, do they have free will to stay away from me? Yeah, but are you going to allow that? Are you guys going to definitely energetically stay away from each other for that long if it's really love? If you're the one that stepped up, trust me, they're going to come to you. Don't step down. Wait for them to catch up. You can't force it. You can't make them do it. You can't make them go any faster. The only thing you can do is be an awesome example and help them up when they're finally ready to get there. If you're the one that's down energetically, you need to step up, period. You need to figure out what's going on. You need to figure out how to change it, but it's all inside of you. And when you finally shift your consciousness, they're going to want to be with you. Again, they love you already. Maybe right now you're not very lovable because you're grumpy, or you lash out, or you say mean things, or you said I had a small man part and it just still hurt my feelings or whatever. I'm just trying to make up stuff. But I know women like to say really mean things sometimes, and it's like, wow, that was mean. Like, you'll hurt a person on a soul level sometimes, and that's not okay. Like, us guys are stupid. We do plenty of dumb things. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's just being mean. Ouch. Anyway, just saying. So these are things that we sometimes do. If your energy's down low, you need to step it up. If your energy's up high, you need to hang tight. They'll catch up. Your soulmate wants to be with you. They're not going to choose to be with you, free will, until they're ready or until the energy's ready and balanced in the way it should be. And love yourself enough to stay up on that higher level, and love yourself more to get up to a higher level. Wherever you fall into that spectrum, just love yourself, keep loving yourself, and you'll get to where you're trying to go. Hopefully that makes a difference. And I'm just going to say Dan RadioStyle, because I'm probably going to make a separate video of this version, but I think we're ready to take some questions. And I hope I did an okay job on that. It actually came out a bit different than I planned, but nonetheless, that was lots of fun. Let's see here. Let's make sure I can see all my stuff over there. And let's start going through some notes, man. Some peoples. Good morning. We got Christopher Poland, Rashad, Sharon. Hi, nice to see all you guys. Jesse Swanson, old mate Tom. I don't think I've seen that name in a while. Wavi Chong, that looks new too. Wang Jimo, Principessa. Okay, make sure. Christina, nice to see you again. Mr. Pincock, nice to see you. On the Hill, Lollapalooza, Kim W, always nice to see you. You're the best, sweetie. She super chatted me last week and totally got dogged on the show, and I had connection issues, which is actually cool. Got way better internet now, but I didn't fully cycle out all the different reboots that needed to happen to properly fix it. So someone actually said it perfectly, like, Dan, you need to reboot. And you're right. That's exactly what fixed it. Autumn Beauty, good day to you, dear. I'm glad you are here. Cindy Luhu, very nice to see you as well. She's some of the old-time friends of mine in this place. Let's see. Got it going on. Jim G, look like a new name. I'm attempting to manifest my ex-girlfriend back, but it's not working. Should I just give up or let go or what? So hopefully my show, my entire video, I hope you've heard it, made a help on that. Energetically, where are you at in relative to her? And I think that's the big question. And energetically, once you get yourself to you want. Now, here's another side note that wow, cool. Another side note that I forgot to mention is that sometimes if we're the ones that have shifted up, you may not necessarily want to choose to be with that person anymore. That's okay. There's other soulmate families, soulmate groups. Trust me, there's people you love in this universe that are in this life with you. And if you're done with that soulmate, don't stay with them just because, we have history. No, man, like, this is an awesome kind of soul thing. Like, you don't get into heaven and be like, you cheated on me. It's not like that. Like, you love your souls. You're like, dude, I would have cheated on you too. It's awesome. Like, it's love. We love each other. It's like, I totally understand why. Fist bump. All right, cool. It's seriously, we're not nearly as like weird there. It's all love, man. It's just all love. It's kind of like that hippie love almost, right? Except there's probably no VD. It's probably the biggest difference. Anyway, yes, patiently in London. Oh my, it's like 8:30. So it's like 6 o'clock, 6:30 at night out there for you, Lisa Marie. That is awesome. Best part is, Lisa Marie, like, I don't know, for some reason, I don't ever imagine you with the British accent, but now I know you have to have it, and that just makes you sound way cooler, I think anyways. That's how all of us Americans are. We either make our bad guys British, or we make the really smart people British. Which, brilliance in being evil as well, right? So you just got to see it in the right side. Anyway, good morning to everybody. What else? Dan, what's up? Dressed at 8 a.m. on Saturday. What a challenge. Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. I got up earlier than that, but yeah, I am. I found that if I don't actually sort of dress appropriate for the camera, sometimes I do. You guys will catch me wearing my little sweatshirt. I don't do the hat thing. I've broken that habit, but I wear a hat all the time. So it's like I actually have to do my hair. So it's really lame. So anyway, love you guys. You're the best. Okay, it's James M. Hi. Is everyone you pushed out similar to thought transmissions in the process of manifesting my SP and want to see him for NYI? I don't know if that's a typo, but my guess is, okay, so us pushed out is really more, we project. I think projection is probably the simplest way to really state it. It does attract situations to us. So if I've got a very snarly look at life and I think everybody's out to try to manipulate me, the us pushed out side of myself will attract people that want to take advantage of me. From a standpoint of someone very specific that you love, us pushed out is really more akin to I'm having a, great example. You're a guy asking, so you'll probably get this, and women maybe, I don't know, but like guys, one thing that's kind of funny is if a guy's cheating, I know this, I've been cheated and cheated, I've been both sides. If a guy's cheating, he gets paranoid. And when he gets paranoid, he starts like accusing his girl of cheating, or he starts thinking she's maybe cheating, or you start getting into this weird projection, and so you'll start asking them, hey, you're who are you going out with? The girls? Are you guys just going dancing? I mean, who's going? You know, and like all of a sudden now you're all interested and you're wondering if any of these people are the flirty ones, right? It's just funny how the us pushed out of us will push that out and go, oh, she's cheating, right? No, you are. You're the one with the dirty energy. You're the one that's doing the problem, but we're pushing it out and seeing the other person. So from a thought transmission side, the difference there is if I'm cheating and being paranoid about it, she's probably asking me questions. That's the thought transmission because I'm thinking of her and I don't want her to know. So I'm being secretive. So that transmits a thing to her that says, and it basically propagates into, I don't know, I feel like he's cheating on me, right? That'll pop into her head. That's the thought transmission. The us pushed out is the fact that you're thinking she's cheating on you when she's not. So hopefully that helps. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good. That's not bad. Let's see. I pat myself in the, ow, that hurts so much. Let's see. Merry Christmas to you as well, Sarah. That is awesome. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everybody out there. Let's see. Hi, it's still in a turkey coma. That's awesome. Okay, a little early for Christine Evans, but she'll get here. She'll get here. It's okay. Kim W., if I met someone who punches babies and kicks puppies, they won't be in my orbit for long, and I certainly won't take responsibility for their behavior. That is awesome to know, and obviously that's how far behind my comments are. You guys are doing it live on the show, but if I was staring at the screen, I wouldn't be able to make a coherent sentence because it would confuse me. Yes. Tension minus effort. Yeah, really it is. Tony Barbera says something very simple, and it's like, I've heard this thrown around, and it's actually a super true statement, but it's 3 words, so it tends to get overlooked. But attention minus effort. A lot of people feel like this is hard. I'm so tired of doing this. That's effort. No, there's no effort in this. 0 effort. It's all about consciousness, all about just the thought. I was thinking about this today, like stuff I'm manifesting, and I'll probably do a video for tomorrow, by the way, that's going to be kind of more in line with this. Similar to this topic, but it's going to have a little kind of extra side to it. But the energy of manifesting, of getting people to pop into my life, for me, like I said, I've been playing with this recently. And it's been more just the thought of the person and be like, yeah, I'd like to bump into you. I'd like to know your name, whatever, right? Like I just want to try to see if I can manifest this. And it's someone I don't know, complete and total stranger. And it's just been funny that this person like happened to be driving by and they're taking a walk, or I happen to be driving by and they're walking their dog and I just wave to say hi, right? Like it's just this funny little thing of how this has happened. Now it's a guy, so don't worry, I'm not trying to manifest a relationship, but it was just an example of someone that I could try to interact with. Because first off, in my neighborhood, no one talks to each other. I literally know like 3 of my neighbors, 4 of my neighbors. Yeah, one of them's actually in a different building, which is amazing. But we don't talk to each other. So it was like a way to manifest that, an interaction with another human being that I don't know at all. And all I've done is just think about it, think, yeah, I'd like to do that. That would be cool. That would be neat. That's the feeling of it. That's literally the only feeling I have. I'm not like, oh my God, I love you so much. No, that'd be awesome. I'd really love that. And it's happened. Things are popping up. And it's just an issue of stepping up the way the manifestation works. So there should not be effort. It's not hard. You just be chill and be happy and be cool for yourself, and you'll attract wonderful things. And then you just throw some thoughts out and be like, yeah, that feels good. And then, yeah, life just happens in a cool way. It's most of us that fight it, that constantly goes, is this working? Is this not working? Do they like me? Do they not like me? If you're asking contrary questions constantly, yeah, you're scattered yourself. Your consciousness is scattered. You don't believe you deserve this, or you don't believe you can have this, or you don't, I don't know, whatever. For whatever reason, you've got doubt. And that's something that you just need to work through, because it shouldn't take any effort. It's not. It's super easy, in fact. Welcome from New Jersey, John Kelly. It sounds like such a radio name. I had Jim Kelly was a radio boss for me one time. I guess that's probably why I think of that. But anyway, Cookie Mons. Whoops. Trying to change. Just stay calm. It's already done. Very good stuff. What else we got here? Happy New Year. You good? You guys say that. As they say, crazy in the head, crazy in bed. Dude, Kim, you were right though, right? I mean, that is, if anybody's been out there and experienced it, some of the ones that are the best are really friggin' crazy. And so you'll find that certain things come with a price sometimes. And is that price tag worth it? Might be, might not be. A lot of us kind of go through life and we pay a certain price, rent for a certain level for a while, and then we're like, I am paying way too much money, or I'd like to pay more money because this place sucks. But either way, sometimes we decide that, I want to change that. I think it's very similar how that kind of plays out. Let's see, burgundy and blue. That's interesting. Burgundy and blue. Well, if you drink too much burgundy, you could get blue. As someone who has been with someone who was controlling, verbally abusive, and was starting to become physically abusive, i.e. grabbing and shaking. Oof, wow, that's horrible. I can say he could never manifested me back. Probably true. And again, that's an example of where the relationship, if damage has been done, folks, I mean, yeah, you can do things to try to ho'oponopono, and you can do all sorts of other things. And who knows, burgundy and blue, he actually might be able to do some of those types of efforts and maybe manifest a chance meeting where you might even walk away from it and go, wow, he seems like he's changed. There's still no way in hell I'd ever date him again. But wow, he seems like a better guy, right? Or whatever. But to your point, if he was able to manifest you regardless of your free will, right? How wrong would that be? And that's where I have a hard time with people that it frustrates them that someone should have free will or shouldn't have free will. Well, they're you pushed out. No, they're not. That's a soul that's learning lessons. He's gone through life. You agreed to be with that relationship, and fortunately, you pulled the plug when it started getting there, and you're like, I love this guy, but not enough to allow myself to go through that. Meaning, I love myself more than I love that person, and that is truly how it should be. I know a lot of people see like, I love my kids more than myself. Well, I get that. I do, but from the standpoint of you're on an airplane and you're losing pressure, if you don't put your mask on first, probably both of you are going to die. So to a degree, right? Like sometimes as the adult, you really need to love yourself first. Make sure you and your family are taken care of. You got a roof over your head. You got a job or whatever, right? Or a good spouse or whatever your mama bear tendencies are. I think there's something kind of to that to a point anyway. I don't know. I'm a dude, right? Don't listen to me. What do I know about kids? Let's see. Right now started 3 years ago, and my frequency has gone up and down because I'm seeing his reality, and power makes me hardcore with him. I defy him. He said, how are you? I said, why do you want to know? Is there more with Christine? No? Okay, so yeah, she sounds like she's just agreeing, which is wonderful. And again, that can be the case. Like we can attract all sorts of yo-yo environments in our life. The thing that I think is really important, and I know a lot of people have a hard time with this, and it's like all I'm trying to do is just offer the best advice I can to help you. I know you want to manifest. Manifesting techniques work. If you manifested somebody at a point where your energy was weird, now you're trying to, and if you're now trying to use law of attraction to change them, you kind of are missing the point. You're missing the point that it doesn't work. If you try to force something 9 times out of 10, it's immediately reflected back on you. 9 times out of 10, it actually manifests sort of the opposite expected behavior or hoped for behavior. You can't do it. And again, you can't go against someone's free will. Whenever you try, it's bounced back on you. Now, there's ways to manipulate that. I will not teach that. But yeah, but for the most part, if you're just sending something out and it's not received, yeah, it's coming right back. So if you're not on the same energy, it's not going to work. And staying in a relationship, hoping you can change somebody is bad. And hoping to get somebody, if you've stepped up to the mark and they're not stepping up with you and you're willing to change yourself, no, trust me. We're all going to the same place in the end. There's no, but I don't want them to be in hell and I'm going to be in heaven. No, trust me, we'll all be together. I promise you. No matter how hell scallion-like they want to be, you will see them again, I assure you. I know a lot of people don't believe that. That's okay. I probably just lost 12 subscribers. It's cool. Let's see. I have a Doberman Pinscher and I really love him. That's fantastic. And I'm glad you wrote that in caps, Dr. Akash. That was important. Let's see if I can get back to where that, geez, you can all sorts of typing in here going on. All right. Let's see. It's a great explanation. Thank you, Misha, 18. Well articulated. Thank you, Brother H. Brother from another mother. Hello from Switzerland. Fantabulous. Oh, okay, Kim, you've got another question, and you, like I said, you did the super chat, so you definitely get some love for sure. I have been doing a new set of affirmations, and when I do, I get a weird feeling in the pit of my stomach and twitch. Does that mean something? So, weird feeling in your stomach I don't know if it's a bad feeling or an uneasy feeling or an uncomfortable feeling. That would imply to me that you have disbeliefs of the actual affirmation. So what it means to me, I'm just going to go with this and assume that's correct. What it means to me is you've got an affirmation that you're not natural with. And so what I might recommend is either A, get an affirmation that steps it a little bit less and maybe not so aggressive, but it's what it feels like to me is that whatever you're saying this affirmation for is not something that's boding well within you, or could possibly be true that you're phrasing it in such a way that you're maybe trying to negate a negative, in which case you feel weird because you're actually going to attract something you don't want and you keep doing it. And so your body's trying to tell you, no, stop. If it's in the stomach, generally it's more of a physical concern or a physical reality that you're manifesting. If it's in the heart, it's usually more of a soul or spiritual or love kind of thing. So it depends where you're feeling it. That would be another gauge I would use. And then hopefully that'll help you kind of figure out what you're doing with this particular affirmation. And maybe it's just not a very good affirmation. Or again, any number of things, but hopefully that helps. I don't know. Christine Evans, Dan, I have a sister and a BIL. I don't know what that is, who are a smear campaign against me. Meanwhile, I'm happy bubble not contacting them. Am I attracting this somehow? I can't figure this out or what to do. I would say I've generally never seen situations where people have little feuds without both sides being involved. And I typically find that most of us don't ever like to admit that we're wrong or that we've done something wrong. My guess is, you probably are doing something that's entertaining, because if you've literally cut all energy and you're like, whatever, then how do you know they're on a smear campaign, right? And if you're being all bubbles and stuff, then I don't understand. Like, it's really hard to be mean to somebody that's being nice. I've been in customer service. I don't do it anymore, thank God, but I was in it for like 30 years, 35 years. I'll tell you one thing, when people are in a horrible mood, it is hard to be mean to someone that's being really nice to you. And I love doing that to people that are in a bad mood. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to mess with them in a positive way. It's like, take that sunshine, ha! And it's kind of interesting what happens. So I just hate to say it, but I'll bet there's probably more involved with you than maybe you want to admit. Oh, cool. Lisa Marie's coming to LA soon. Good deal. Good for you. I love it. LA is kind of a crazy town, but good on you. It's great, especially if you're coming from London. I mean, London's probably just as crazy. Kelly Storm, my question is, my friend believes talking about what she wants might jinx the thing and makes it not come about. So she spends a lot of energy saying the opposite of what she wants. Yeah, she shouldn't talk to anyone about it. If she feels she has to say the opposite of it to unjinx it, yeah, she's got a real bad little energy thing going on inside there. I totally agree with her that you shouldn't talk to people about what you're trying to manifest. And then once it manifests, then you can tell people, yeah, I was doing it using this mental mind game Jedi tricks and then made it happen in my life. And they're going to be like, what? And you're like, I was using the law of attraction. And they're like, that's not true. It doesn't work. I'm like, I don't know. That's how I did it. So, yeah, I don't know. You don't have to believe it. I do. So, thanks. That's how you do it. You don't tell people while you're manifesting, because you will mess yourself up 6 ways from Sunday, 9 times out of 10. Try all those numbers all at once. That'll screw with your brain. All right, and NYC Misha, that's probably what that is. Dan, I think you explained, do you believe once SP raises their vibration, the person who was wrong would be able to forgive and move beyond the past hurts? So the whole wrong thing kind of implies there's probably still a little forgiveness maybe on your side, just saying, because if you still feel there's a right and a wrong side of this, then something needs to happen that is in the forgiveness. I've found that a lot of people feel that they need somebody to say, I'm sorry. Forgiveness comes from ourselves. It really does. You can do all the research you want on it, but ultimately forgiveness is for ourselves. It's so we can move on. So if you need to hear I'm sorry, it means you need to say I'm sorry. Not to them physically. You can do it like from an astral. Like I do these things called astral letters where you just talk to their higher self and you don't even have to bother them. It's pretty cool. Or you can use Ho'oponopono, a number of other things. But that being said, generally speaking, if someone has wronged somebody and they come to the realization or they enhance their energy, they will usually at some point come back and say, wow, yeah, I was really treating you poorly and I miss you. So again, I don't know. Like it just it's hard to be general, right? Without a lot of specifics, but yeah, generally speaking, they will see the wrongs of their ways, and that's part of kind of the evolution in them moving past this. And that's part of forgiveness in general, is acknowledging where we've been wrong, certainly. So yeah, that's usually a process. I think it's usually both-sided to a degree when there's forgiveness involved. I really do. Even if I'm mad at someone and I know they've wronged me, I still do the astral letter to them because it's cool. I want to forgive them. I don't want to hold on to stuff. There's no reason to hold on to negative energy. Life is way too short, and negative energy only hurts you. It does not help anything. Negative energy hurts you, and it doesn't help anything. So holding on to it for any length of time is bad mojo. Get rid of it. Get it out of your system. And yeah, they'll probably come back and say, I'm sorry. And you'll be like, oh my God, I forgave you years ago. It doesn't matter. But yes, thank you. I'm so glad you see what you were doing. Because yeah, it was frustrating. It was a hard thing to go through, right? So you can have that discussion. It's fantastic when you do. Mr. Pincock. Dan, when you are married and your mate is unwilling to grow, do you just wait it and grow until they grow? I think there's two ways to handle this. You chose marriage for the lifetime. And if that was the decision you made and you want to stick to it, that's fantastic. I will say we make decisions often in life that we change. You're allowed to change your mind. That's part of our souls. Our soulmates are cool with it in the end, I will say. Also, a huge part, because of the way the transitions are happening in the world, the way the energy is changing so quickly, I truly believe that has probably 90% to do with why divorce rates are as high as they are. Now, I'm in California. The divorce rates in California are upwards of 60%. It's more than 50%, meaning more than 1 out of 2 people get divorces in California. So, divorces are common, at least in my world. I know they're not in some other places, but in some other places where they're not common, they're starting to become common, aren't they? Again, there's this weird shift that's happening. Everything is your choice. This is your life that you've manifested, Mr. Pincock. It's your life. So what do you want to do? If you got kids and it's worth it to you to stay together because of the family unit, then stay together, and you should. That's the best choice for sure. I've got a very good friend of mine, older guy, has been married 35 years. He doesn't particularly like his wife, doesn't dislike her, but he's definitely not happily married. But he loves his kid, and he loves his kids, and he loves his family. And he's like, yeah, I would never want to give this up. He doesn't want to cheat on her. He's an amazing guy. He's just like, yeah, I don't love my wife, but whatever. I love my family. And my wife comes with that. And that's just part of the deal. And it's not worth changing that. So it's always your choice how you want to see it and what you want to do. I don't believe there's a moral punishment for choosing to not stay in a relationship that you're not happy with. I think it's a good idea to give it your fair shake and try to communicate about it and really try to give the other person a chance. But sometimes energies just aren't compatible anymore. And sometimes you'll find an odd sense of happiness when you finally step into your happiness or finally accept who you are. Or it's even like, here's another hyperbolic example, but like people that are homosexual that are spending life trying to be normal and then eventually just go, I'm not happy being in this marriage. I'm not happy in this heterosexual life. I just want to accept who I am. And then they finally divorce the wife and become, come out of the closet, basically tell their family, yeah, this is why, sorry. But they're finally happy. And in most cases, pretty well received by the other side. But, again, it depends. But that is always your choice. And I think that's very, very, very important. I have manifested impossible things. Government. Awesome. Good for you, Agasti Dior. That is fantabulous. So Christina, I just turned the light on with you, huh? That he accused me of cheating when all along he was cheating on me? Probably. Very, very likely. It is very funny. Guys are funny. I mean, we're stupid. We're really stupid. Another fun thing, I'm giving away secrets for all my buddies out there. I apologize. You get better at this. That's how you get around it. But another thing that guys do is when you ask us a question and we ask that question back to you, dude, we're stalling. All we're trying to do is figure out how the hell we're going to lie. Where were you last night? Where was I last night? I was hanging out with Johnny, right? We say it again because we don't have an answer prepared, because the truth will definitely not go over well. Where were you last night? I was having sex with someone else. Yeah, no, you can't just say the truth. Where was I last night? I was hanging out with George. We were bowling in a bowling alley where there's nobody. Nobody saw me. Nobody else saw us. Yeah, George will back it up. Let me text him really quick. Hang on. Right? It's just, guys we're sneaky a little bit. But ladies, women cheat just as much as men. So for all of you that are getting on a little high horse real quick, maybe hey, we're all fun people having a good old time. Hi, Dan. This is Manala Soda, I hope. Hi, Dan. What do you do for constant alignment to yourself and also your dream? Should I keep my gratitude book or should I destroy it because it's full? No, if you buy another gratitude book and start that one and put the other gratitude book in a shelf. It's like, dang, that's a lot of gratitude to write. I wouldn't want to throw that away. That's beautiful. But I don't know. Keep doing your gratitude if you want. I don't say. I guess I don't see it as constant alignment. I guess that's one of the things that's frustrating is I work on myself and then I enjoy what kind of manifests from that, and it's really awesome. There's definitely been places where I've manifested specific things and people, and I've found that sometimes it requires changes in me that I'm not necessarily okay with. So in some cases when I've failed to manifest things, that's why. And I was okay with it. I'm like, I don't really want to be in that world, or that person's actually a bit more strange than I thought, or maybe they kick puppies, punch babies, right? And you find out about it. You're like, oh God, they're horrible. There's a really dark side to them or something. Like it can happen. So I don't try to match my alignment to anything outside of myself. I try to create alignment inside of myself, and then I notice stuff that happens outside of myself is cool. So I look for ways to keep myself happy, groovy, feeling happy thoughts, keeping focused towards my goals and dreams. I don't see it as alignment. I don't worry about that. Like I feel like that's putting a weird, unnatural kind of energy to it, rather than just being like, yeah, so that's the future I'm having. I'm going to create. I'm going to have my gratitude journal because I'm grateful for it. I mean, again, I don't really keep gratitude journals because I'm lazy. It's a lot of work, and I don't need it per se at this point. It's kind of like meditating. You don't need crystals, but they help. So a gratitude journal helps a lot. It helps very much. A focus wheel helps a lot. It's not needed, helps a lot. So a lot of these techniques really help more than all you need to do is just see it, feel it, and send it out there and let it go. And it happens. It really does. Even the big stuff, as we like to say. Just sometimes it seems to take a little longer with the big stuff. Maybe that's one of the big differences. Jesse Swanson, set the person and forget it. That's right. Set it and forget it. I love it. Small moments of thinking about this person. That's kind of how I see it too, by the way. When they talk about alignment, like when they pop into your head, that, to me, living in the end, I was also like accepting when they pop into your head, that you're going to have this neat moment with them. Be it for 5 seconds, be it for a minute. Maybe you're walking by an awesome little restaurant and you're like, oh, I'd really love to go there with my specific person. And then think about it. Think about you're walking in there with you, what you're going to be wearing. Use that moment to elaborate on that dream and then let it go. Cool. You just added another scene to your book, another scene to your movie. And you've incorporated something you just walked by. They popped into your head because you love them and you think about them a lot. And now you're living in the end. That's kind of how you do it. You incorporate it. Oh my God, I can't wait to go there with them. It's going to be so much fun. Have an emotional connection with it. Done. It'll happen. Walk on and you'll see other really cool stuff that you'd like to experience or that you're going to experience with this individual. I think it helps. I don't know. It's just the way I like to look at it. Rooted reality. Interesting. I wish I could email a question. Too long to type here. All right. Well, you can. Go to the About section of my channel. Go to Dan Radio Style's channel and then hit About. There's a little About section, and you'll see there's an email in there. I don't just give it out because I like to make you work a little for it. Otherwise, it's okay. I just skipped a bunch of stuff. Holy crud. Where are we at? I'm just going to grab a spot. Let's see here. Someone says, wow, it's Golden Nugget. I'm listening to this, and I'm thinking of a situation where I manifested us together, but energetically on different levels. Eventually, the complete opposite happened. There you go. NYC Misha. That kind of happens, especially when you're in different places. And, yeah, depending on how you're thinking about it, a lot of that stuff, you'll see it plays out exactly how we were consciously about it, right? What we believed, what we thought, all the little nuances. It's just funny. It plays out the way we believe it will. And I think ultimately that's why I often just say it's, think it, feel it, believe it, and that's it. And so that's what letting go is belief. Just I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's not because I think I'm doing the techniques so well. It's because I know this is how it works. I don't question it. I know gravity works, so I don't jump off of buildings because I know what's going to happen. I know there's anti-gravity. At least I understand there is. And I've certainly, if you take a ceramic and you freeze it with liquid nitrogen and you put it above a magnet, it floats. So there's anti-gravity. It does exist. So again, I jump off a building. I'm not expecting to float like that little ceramic thing. Yeah, you never tell people you're using LOA. That is very true, Jesse Swanson. Very, very true. Dan Chakra with Neville in combination. Oh, that'd be fun. Shivam. I could consider doing chakras and Neville. Haven't necessarily read anything of his yet that necessarily bumped me in that thought, but I'll keep that open because I'm sure that'll kick in. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. I love bringing chakras into it. By the way, if you want to get serious about your actual spiritual journey, study your chakras. Study some meditations to handle them. Understand what parts of the body and mentals and thoughts and all that stuff that each one covers. Oh, it's a great experience. You'll learn a lot, and it will definitely change your world. Rooted reality, native California. Nice. I was born in Seattle, but I've lived here since I was like 7. So, yeah, we don't like to marry a lot of people our age. Certainly don't. I chose not to, by the way. And that's one of the hard things with the girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do marriage. Got bad examples. Mom and dad did it a bunch of times and don't really want to do that. That's not my thing. Doesn't seem like it works well in our family. How about that? That's typically what I say. Hey, Dan. This is from Lucas de la Canal. Hey, Dan. I have a hard time falling asleep and the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Any ideas about how to know your last thought is actually the last one you have before sleep? Lucas, buddy, from Argentina. Well, first off, hola. Don't worry so much about it, bro. It's cool. Trust me, it's cool. That's not going to be your problem. I promise. If that's not the last thought you have before falling asleep, it's okay. If you're thinking about him while you're drifting off, you're good, man. You're totally good. It definitely is not the last thought. It's all of the thoughts you have throughout the day. It's just a good time at the end of the day. Goddard kind of talks about like relaxing, not necessarily being aware of sensation like your body. So sometimes when you're lying, it's really easy to ignore your body. And when you can do that, you can kind of just be more in your head and really imagine it in a more realistic fashion. And that helps us kind of create a better, clearer feeling around that reality. So again, it's not the thought, it's not the word, it's not that last image you had. That doesn't matter. You're worrying too much. And so my guess is you're doing more damage freaking out. Like, is this working? Is this not working? That's probably where your damage is coming from, my boy. But Lucas, you're on fire, man. You're doing good. And it's a good question. It's a great question. Let's see. All right, Christina, I know we can't change anyone. I want to just be myself. I've forgotten how much with him. How do I remain myself, accepting how things are and not lose my cool? Should I have said, I'm okay, move on, forget the chat? So a few things. It's interesting. I feel like there's a lot of cases where we really want to try to be with someone regardless, right? And we try to get ourselves, like I said, energetically to where we want to be. But one thing that happens in relationships frequently, especially for people trying to get an ex back, is when you're in relationships, all of us do it. I've done it a bunch of times. I've done it more than once, and it's really hard to avoid, I find. Anyway, I've been working on it, but it's very hard, is losing yourself. You get in relationships and you get to this place where you want to please this person. You want to spend time with them. You want to do things with them. And you start to ignore things that you used to enjoy doing, that you used to do on your own, that you used to have fun doing. Good example for guys, and this is just because I'm probably guilty of it, but video games. Like, guys like to play video games typically. Typically, it's a very guy thing, right? And we like to do it. And we get in relationships, and sometimes girlfriends aren't really fond of it. And you get to a point where maybe as a guy, I'm in a relationship for a while, and I'm barely ever getting to play video games. So now I start to try to figure out ways like, oh, you're going to the store. Yeah, I'm going to just stay home while you go. And you're like, you used to always go with me. You're like, I mean, I want to. Don't get me wrong. But no, I just don't feel like going right now. And all he wants to do is play a freaking video game for 30 minutes because you're going to be gone. But you don't let him. So it's kind of one of those things where sometimes we forget to do things. Then we start to try to create weird places where we can do these things. And it starts to create an imbalance. It starts to create this, like, we used to always be like this. Now you're not. And you're like, well, yeah, because for years I gave up on my dream. And I don't want to do that anymore. And that's usually why people grow. And again, that goes back to my original thing, consciously. If you're the one that stepped up, they're going to look at me like, I miss you. I miss that energy. I miss being with you. How do I get to where you're at? And you start to slowly shift yourself into a better person. I mean, I've definitely seen relationships and actually used them to help me chase a better career, chase better, like, just because that seemed like that's what I kind of needed to do to step into that world. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it certainly benefited me a great deal by walking down that path. And as far as losing cool, I mean, if you've got bad mojo with people, if you've got anger with people, if you have a hard time keeping your cool, one of two things. One, if they're just horrible people, yeah, you need to stay away from them. Just love yourself enough to stay away from them, regardless of who they are. I don't care how much you love them. If they're not ready to come to your level, love yourself enough to stay at your higher level. And if they catch up, cool. If they don't, cool, whatever. But love yourself enough to know that you deserve better. If that's not quite the case, then forgive them. Ho'oponopono. Astral letters. Let go of this reason to be upset. Whatever it is, whatever you feel like needs forgiveness, especially if you think they need to say, I'm sorry, you need to give them forgiveness for whatever they've done wrong. Forgive them for angering you so badly, because you're the one that's carrying the energy. You're the one that's actually doing harm to yourself and to the relationship. Now, they should acknowledge their own thing, but that should not be anything to do with how you feel about them. If you don't like them, don't want to be around them, then go into a different direction. But if you love them, but that's not really love, then. If you love somebody, but yeah, you don't really love them. That's not, you need to look inward. That's, again, it's both sides. And I think that's what's beautiful about life, man. It's a dance with both sides. That's why love and relationships are great, because it's a chance for two totally different consciousnesses to try to come together and meld and merge and mend. And boy, it's fun. And you get all sorts of different experiences from doing it, but it is fantabulous. Lisa Marie, that's awesome. There's a lot of happily married people. And it's funny, so Lisa Marie, this is a great example of us pushed out. If you don't see marriage as something that's valuable, then you don't want that and chase that. But if you see marriage as something that's valuable, then you should see happy marriages everywhere you go. They all exist. I frequently talked about like the different filters we put on. I just don't necessarily know I want to be in a marriage, because I've got some friends that have had them, but I've never really experienced it up close, like as something that looks awesome. I haven't. I think it's great to be in long-term relationships, but do you need to be married to do that? Like, again, so a lot of it comes down to, why do we need to be married? And for me as a guy, it's kind of a legal thing, which I don't like so much either. So I don't know. There's a lot of things, and maybe it's just me being a horrible guy, whatever. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. Again, mom was married more than 5 times, so yeah, and then she even bailed on me. So I don't know. Again, it's just one of those things where, all right, yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that to be happy in life. I've got all sorts of other wonderful things. All right, Chris Campbell. Hi, Dan. Question. I love to find screaming bargains. They are fun and make me happy. How do I align with LOA money theory of not paying attention to how much things cost to manifest more money? It's one of those things, though. If you enjoy finding a bargain, I don't know. I guess there's something to be said, even if you're a millionaire. I know very, very wealthy people that still like to, buy things that are super cheap. It's like, yeah, I found this Coach purse for $40. And it's like, but you're a millionaire. It's like, yeah, but I don't like paying $800 for stuff. I mean, right? And to a degree, that people with lots of money don't really generally get rich giving it away. But that's also kind of old money, I think, too. That being said, I think money needs to flow. I mean, you look at an economy, if a group of people in an economy start holding on to their money, like example, United States, right, or England, or most of the Western world, capitalistic 10 types of societies, probably more so. But if you hold on to your money and stop spending it, what that does is that creates a recession, because it's all about the flow of the money in the economy. You're not really supposed to hang on to it. Now, from a healthy standpoint, you certainly shouldn't drive yourself into debt with credit, because that's money you don't have. But if you spend money you do have and you flow it, that's cool. And so if you see yourself flowing the money and see yourself, hey, cool, I got a great bargain and I got this awesome stuff and I got more stuff for less money, like, that's okay. I think it's when you maybe won't buy something that you want or need because it's, I'll see if I can find it as a bargain elsewhere. I think that's maybe where we start drifting into that more lack kind of thing, like where it's here right now, I manifested it, but no, it's too expensive. Right? Okay, that's a thinking thing. But if you enjoy the hunt, if you enjoy, doing it and find the bargain and clipping them and going through the coupons and oh, yippee, like, oh man, do it. That's awesome. And you probably enjoy shopping too. Hate shopping myself, but like my girlfriend, she likes to go into, I think it's Ross, this crazy clothing store that's just everything's on racks. There's no organization. There's no jean section, and right, like just racks and racks and racks of random clothes. Don't even know if it's gonna fit me. I don't even know what size they are. Well, some of them are sized, I think. It's ridiculous. I know she loves it. She loves it. She loves going through and touching them all. Oh my God, I'd rather die than go into that store. I walked in once, literally went in 10 feet, turned around, walked out, never went back. Never ever went back. Will not either. There's no reason I will ever go inside that store. Oh, it's horrible. Let's see. That's interesting. Dr. Akash is saying something cool that's going to piss some people off, but Trump's a very wealthy guy, so he's a good example of how to make money. But he maintains a gratitude journal. He writes, "I am grateful. Putin is my friend." That's funny. Good word. Good work there, buddy. Way to bring politics into my show too. I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Dan. Blah blah blah. I love the way you simply explain everything. It's so easy to understand. Thanks a lot. Some people don't like it, though, because I don't agree with everyone else's very complex view. It's very tough. Julie Matthews, thank you for your kind words. Kelly Storm, how do I feel about hypnosis? Hypnosis. I've seen it happen. I believe in it for sure. I think if you've maybe got some stuff in you that you're worried about that's maybe repressed, and you've got someone that's a hypnosis, or at least certified or whatever, and there's someone you trust, I'd go for it. I have trust issues with other people messing with my subconscious, because again, you start to get into allowing someone to mess with your free will. Now, if it's someone that's truly a good person, kind person, and only interested in doing what they want or what you're asking, then great. And if the whole thing's recorded and you can verify that, awesome. But if you say, yes, I give you permission verbally, consciously to another individual to mess with my subconscious self, and they choose to do something that's not good, you've given them permission, and that will happen. So hypnosis is something that is very powerful, and with great power comes great responsibility. And if someone is not good, like I have a really good friend that is not a good friend. Like he's intentionally tried to make me jealous with people I was dating, like just really weird random stuff. And he was a hypnosis person that was a certified hypnosis. He's like, would you let me hypnotize you? And I'm like, first off, I'm sure you can't. I've been through hypnosis before and it didn't work. And he's like, I bet you I could. And I said, and secondly, I would never let you hypnotize me. And he got a smirk on his face because he would have put some weird thing in my brain. Like anytime a doorbell rang, I'd be like, I'd be like, why do I do that? It'd be him. So be careful. That's all. Let's see. Cool. New York Misha, 18. She bought some crystals after watching that video. That is really awesome. And the astral letter thing, you are very welcome. Yeah, it's a good video. It's a good one. Let's see. My uncle knows him. It wouldn't surprise me if he's a member of Skull and Bones. Not at all. In fact, I would say anybody that makes it to president of the United States, trust me, they may not be in one of the political parties. Honestly, I'll be honest. I'll say it right out. I think he's part of the gangster money. That's where I think he gets his money there. I don't think he's part of the two political parties. There's two very different factions. I've done a lot of looking into this. They're two very different factions that do and operate very differently in the world. And people just agreeing with him is really how that works out. But then there's kind of this third underground criminal world that's pretty interesting. And I think that's where Trump came from, by the way. I'm just saying, I don't have an opinion about him. I know everyone hates him. I don't particularly hate the guy. I don't particularly like him. I think he says a lot of stupid stuff. But whatever, it is what it is. The world is a changing place right now. England voted to Brexit, right? We've got France, it's rioting in the streets. Hong Kong's rioting. We've got cops walking up and killing people on the streets. Like there's some weird stuff going on in the world right now. So whatever the case is, something's happening on a much larger scale. And I think it's to benefit mankind. That's my belief. We'll see if that's actually true. Julian Schleger, that's awesome. Date in Q. When you started with LOA, or even now when you create a new manifestation, did you find resistance in your chakras? As in guilt resonates in the sacral, criticism, throat, etc. I worked through my chakra stuff many, many, many years ago. Yes, it did affect me when I had imbalances in my chakras. I'm pretty good at noticing if one of them gets out of balance now because I've already worked through all seven. At least I'm fond of the 7 chakra system. I think it works better just because there's 7 primary colors. Anyway, that being said, I've worked with mine. I've definitely worked on aligning them. It has made one of the biggest differences in my life, hands down. It's like a quantum jump. It is not the same world I live in the second I really did that work. For any of you out there, just do look up videos on crystals. I've done some stuff. Mine aren't that good. I'll probably do better ones in the future. They were done eons ago, and it's very new in law of attraction, but they're not bad. I mean, they'll give you a basic understanding, but yeah, I highly recommend crystals. They're good stuff, working through that will help. And then if you start to see imbalances, you'll start to notice different places that seem out of balance. And that's when if you understand your chakras, you kind of know what part of your life is a little screwed up, and then you can just directly fix it or look at it or make changes accordingly. And then you'll find that everything starts to smooth back out. It's made the biggest difference in getting rid of drama from my life. I'll say that. I experience very little drama, and I know that's how I prefer it, frankly. Let's see here. Awesome, George Bonilla. You'll try it. Oh, you're talking to each other. Cool. Rooted. Wow. Something to listen more, talking less. Answered my question. Okay, cool. Not sure. Let's see. Oh, cool, Jerry. That makes me feel better that you actually are on board with that with me as far as the marriage thing. I know that's weird, and some ladies are probably seriously hate me for what I said, and I'm sorry. I'm still a pretty nice guy, but yeah, marriage is not a thing I want. Yeah, you keep telling the story. That's what shows up. It's pretty much what happens with me. I do see people with good marriages, by the way. It's just not something I want. So again, if you're not interested in it and you talk bad about it, but you don't care what you see, that's fine. That's not an experience I want. Some people say it's awesome. Some people say it's the end all be all. But some people aren't on this planet to necessarily walk the same path as everyone else. And that I'm reasonably sure with myself. And honestly, was one of the hardest things was accepting who I am. And realizing, wow, I don't want the same stuff that everybody else wants. And then accepting, but that's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to want what everybody else wants. It's fantastic the way that works. I'm that way with Walmart, Dan. I actually have never been in one. Oh, that's pretty. I've never been in a Walmart. That's pretty awesome. I love the pictures, by the way, especially if you go and look up the Walmart photos. And I've literally seen some of those people in real life. It is truly fascinating. But yeah, I don't enjoy shopping in Walmarts. I will say I go to Target, which is I think a slightly upscale Walmart, but yeah, it's basically the same thing. Let's see, Lisa Mercy. Dan, but you should only wish for others what you wish for yourself, because if not vibrationally accepted to manifest in the operator. I'm not sure if you're still speaking about the marriage thing, but I don't want to wish for something that others want. I want to wish for what I want. I don't care what other people want. That's great for them. So I'm not sure I understand you, Lisa, but yeah, maybe you'll kick in another comment here. I hypnotize myself daily in meditation. Theta, it's the same thing. Yeah, pretty much. That's subliminal programming, basically. But that's awesome. Keep going with that. All right. Shows treating. Oh, it's treading into Art Bell territory. It's so true, Kim W. And by the way, Art Bell was one of my all-time favorites. George Norrie's pretty good, but I liked Art Bell way better. He was awesome. I spent many a night. I worked overnights for a good period of time when I was doing radio, and so I felt like I was competing against him always, which is funny. Persistence overcomes resistance. Very, very, very true. Yeah, it's very true, actually, if you think about it from just about every standpoint. It's fun to see what's causing the resistance, right? If you got a squeaky wheel, you put a little grease on it, you don't have a squeaky wheel anymore. You could be persistent when you pedal and work even harder, but if you fix the wheel. So always ways to look at things a little differently, and yes, keep persisting through the pain for sure. Anyone you would recommend for teachings about chakras? I really, truly believe when we're getting into spiritual teachings, I find it to be a very good idea to find your path. Let your higher self guide you to the right people. I have found that I am very different than most people, so you don't necessarily want to follow my path. My path has been for me, but I do put some of my favorite books below. And hopefully that kind of leads you into some of those directions. I will say the guy Drunvalo Melchizedek in the bottom, someone I very, very, very much love. His books are to die for. And his, Flower of Life or whatever those are called, book 1 and book 2, amazing books. Highly recommend them. They're in the link below. There's a link for them, but probably one of my favorites. And he definitely got into chakras. He also, I've talked about it a little bit before, but there's a cool... for my Merkaba, there's a great meditation in there for your Merkaba and to get it properly spinning. And it's different depending if you're a man or woman. The Merkabas are actually kind of slightly different in the way they work and how they spin. So it's very, very cool. And that actually made an enormous difference in my life as well. So something I recommend. Links are below. Not trying to sell you on anything. I didn't write the books, but it's, those are the books I recommend. Let's see, Peter. I hadn't been single in almost 20 years and forgot how freeing it feels. Thank you. Thank you, by the way, Peter. Excuse me. I've been able to do many of the things I really enjoy doing, like reading, playing guitar, working out. Yeah, it's weird that when you've got something that eats up a lot of time, and something happily so maybe, But there's a lot of things we don't do for ourselves when we've constantly got a family obligation or when there's more to it. And again, that's what the point of it is sort of taking on that family unity. That's why you get into a marriage. But I've found, unfortunately, it seems that in a lot of cases, you don't have to stay in marriages. They're very easy to get out of. So it's nothing like it used to be where there was a stigma to being a divorced woman or a divorced man. Like now it's like, yeah, of course you are. Like, who isn't? Hello, I've been married 26 times. So, whatever. Why is it easier to manifest beach balls and small yellow rubber duckies than paper money? Because money is not something you manifest. You manifest what the money's going to go to. Why are you trying to manifest paper money, Christina? You want the thing that you're going to spend on the paper money. Manifest that. A beach ball costs money. You can manifest that, but you didn't try to manifest the money for the beach ball. An example I like to give, I could give my own examples, but it was just one show I did with Agnes, and I like plugging her whenever I can because I love Agnes. She's good stuff. Agnes Vivarelli. Most of you guys know her. But it was funny is she wanted to get an apartment. She needed to get a place to stay when she was going to Australia. She was flying down there, going to Australia, and basically I got to manifest money for a place to stay, right? For a B&B or whatever right? Airbnb, whatever that stuff is. And instead of manifesting money for an Airbnb, she manifested a friend of hers that was going on a trip that had a cat that needed cat sitting, and she had a place that she needed someone to house sit for her. So Agnes manifested a place to stay that cost her no money. So what is it that you want the paper money for? Manifest that. The money itself is not the God of gods that so many say. Even though it says in God we trust on our American money, it's not. It's not God. God is you, and the money is just something you hand to another person so they'll give you something back in return. It's not money you want. It's stuff. It's bigger world, bigger house, bigger car, expand yourself. Don't try to get money and expand your wallet. Even though you can imagine that and be like, my back hurts because there's always so much money in my wallet. But big whoop. If there's always money in your wallet, it's not being spent, and really what's the point? You don't need it. You can keep it in the bank too. You don't have to shove it in a wallet. Again, bunch of overly, and the belief thing, Purple Lava. Hey, nice to see you. I didn't see you earlier. Let's see. That's awesome. I think I'm getting to the end. Cool. All right, Jerry B, on the money with manifesting, Dan. Money, Dan. Very good. I like that. All right, looking forward to what life has in store for all of us. Peter Cast, honestly, buddy, that is one of the best pieces of advice that anybody could possibly get. That's a good idea. It's a good piece of advice for anybody out there. Enjoy the journey. You will truly find that if you enjoy the journey, if you actually start to see enjoyment in the journey, and you keep manifesting stuff, and you keep trying to get your specific person, and you keep trying to bump into them at the grocery store, you seem to get the timings right, keep doing it, but remember to enjoy yourself every step of the way. This is your life, your journey, not someone else's, yours. And if you want to have actors in your movie, well, bring all the actors you want. Have all the cameos you want. Have one cameo that's in the entire romance novel. Have one actor, one leading actor that comes in and stays, and then you create babies, and it's the perfect movie about the family. That's awesome. It's your movie. What do you want? What are you here to experience in life? What are you here to do? It's your life to choose. Not everybody wants the same things. And that's one of the most important things if you're ever trying to help somebody, is to listen to what it is that they want, not necessarily what I want. So in the case of marriage, if someone I'm talking to wants marriage, I don't go, dude, marriage sucks. You shouldn't do that. No, I don't do that. I get why people like it. I wanted to. There's been 2 people in my life that I thought about it with, but nah. Right? I get it. I get the idea of it. And so if someone wants it, yeah, here's how you do it. Here's what you do. I would recommend talking to people that have been, as I've said it before, I've said it a bunch of times. I recommended talking to people that have been married for a long period of time. Learn the secrets. See what it's like. See people that truly love each other. That's how you learn about that. And if that's what you want, if that's what you want to be good at, then that's definitely a good avenue towards it. So again, it's easy to help somebody find their dreams if you know what their dreams are. But if someone comes at you and says, I want to have a relationship, and you start talking marriage to them, well, you're not really helping them out any, because that's not what they're interested in. They want a relationship. I get a lot of kids that are younger. I'm like, how do I manifest a text message? And I'm like, well, you should think about them in the long term. Like I do it wrong, like frequently, like with younger people. And they're probably like, Dan, I don't relate to you because you're talking about marriage. Like I don't even want to experience that. So You want a text message? Let's manifest a text message. Like, to me, that seems strange, but to a lot of people, that's a big deal. And it's taken me a lot of growth to figure that out. So I think a lot of us kind of get to these places in our own safe way, if you will. Hopefully it makes a difference. Someone else in here, I got to look, because that was really nice. Yeah, by the way, Arjun Sai, thank you, sir. That was, I see that you did a super chat for me too, and that was very, very, very nice of you. So thank you, sir, for that. I feel like I got lost. It skips sometimes, and so it can be very, very challenging. But anywho, that is the way it goes in life sometimes. So looks like we're at the end. You guys are the best. You still listen to George Nor? Yeah, are you, Kim? I'm curious. I hope you answer that. Shy Tricia, nice to see you in there. I love it. I really enjoy you guys. Yeah, there's Shy Tricia. I love it. And I think you've emailed me before, haven't you? Sounds familiar. Anywho, you guys are the best. Thank you all. You guys have a wonderful, happy New Year's. If I don't talk to you before, then, 'cause I won't be doing a live until end of the New Year. I'll be doing some videos, though. You'll see them. You guys are the best. Love you all. Julie Matthews, Shy Tricia, Dr. Akash. Dr. Akash with your political humor. I love it. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Thank you all. Bye, guys.